will the 49ers not trade Deebo Samuel within their conference, the NFC?
I do think that the 49ers will take this into account. I don't think that they should as much. I believe that we're entering a new era in football and the way in which you evaluate trades and compensation and willingness to part with some of these key players. And we're getting closer to the point of the NBA where stars can determine where they go. Big trades are far more likely to happen. And you care a little bit less about those traditional, rules that you can't trade something within the conference. That's just unacceptable. If I'm the Niners, I'm worried about one thing and one thing only, and that is trade compensation. If you get fantastic compensation from a team inside your own conference, if you win that trade, didn't you just by effect weaken your opponent? So focus on winning the deal, focus less on who the deal is with.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I don't think the Niners will trade him to the Packers. It would just be embarrassing to set up the Packers like that at your expense. But yeah, if you need to send him to Philly, if you want the 15th pick and Philly is the best option, do it. I mean, you don't blow this. Don't hold out for 2 first-round picks from the Jets when you're not going to get them. You're not going to get 4 and 10.
Right.
You're not going to get it.
This is coming off of the cuff. The Deebo was not expected to be available. Don't cut your potential market in half by saying, well, we just can't trade him inside the NFC.
Yeah, that's terrible. You got to be open-minded to doing this. And it's like, look, what will be the argument against it? Well, if we send him to the NFC, that's a team that's going to be our way on the way to the Super Bowl. If you trade Deebo, you will be just being over 500 would be a great accomplishment. If you trade Deebo. So don't talk to me about contending in the playoffs. Like, if you're in the trading Deebo mode, you're out. You're freaking out. And so maybe you shouldn't have gotten here. Maybe you should have taken him a little more seriously and shown him some love or whatever he needed. I don't know. Because it seems like whatever his next team is going to make sure to let him feel appreciated.
Yes, they're going to coddle him a little bit. They're going to make him feel very welcome. I certainly would be exploring all of these trade packages because you need as many potential trade partners as possible. It's weird to be on the other side of this where in the past we had talked about Green Bay and potentially wanting to trade Aaron Rodgers. And it was, there's no way they'd trade him to the San Francisco 49ers because they want to save face. They just don't want to look that bad in trading him away to San Francisco. He goes over there and wins a championship. And I do think the same could be true of the Packers. I would argue that the 49ers should keep all of those teams in the running. If the trade packages are equal, I would avoid trading him within the conference. I would certainly avoid trading him to a playoff contender within the conference. But if the Packers offer is head and shoulders above others, I would absolutely trade him to Green Bay.
I like it. Daniel says Niners need to be straight up cutthroat and cut Jimmy, pay Deebo, and let's get Trey Area the best chance possible to be successful. All right, well, both ship sailed on that one.
Right.
Next year. Maybe next year.
Where do you fall in the belief of Jimmy Garoppolo's salary standing in the way of the Deebo Samuel extension? Do you believe that one needs to happen for the other, or is there still that flexibility that San Francisco can get the deal done while Jimmy's still on the books?
I'm not good with the cap. Jack Hammer was explaining this to me. He's very smart, and he was saying, look, it's not just about the guaranteed money. It's about the signing bonus. You give him an extension. There comes a signing bonus that he gets that day.
A huge one for Deebo.
Yeah. And even though the extension kicks in next year, if you get a signing bonus that day, the way it counts against the cap, it's not all at once. It's averaged out the length of the contract. So it's 5 years. It's one fit. What he said is there's a high probability that the signing bonus would be so significant, given where the wide receiver market is now, that Deebo's salary cap number this year, even though the extension kicks in next year, would go up.
Right.
And it would go up so much that they couldn't afford it because they have no cap space. So if he's correct, and I don't know, if someone wants to look that up for me, I'm not sure if I think he's right. But someone needs to make sure, does the signing bonus proration take an effect that year or or a year in the future? I think he's right. And in that case, I don't think they can afford the signing bonus for Deebo right now until Jimmy's off the team. Now, maybe they're saying, like, look, just wait. We're going to trade Jimmy, and then we'll get to you. Well, if I were Deebo, I'd be like, no, you're not going to trade Jimmy. You're not.
Right.
You're going to tell me you're going to trade Jimmy. You're going to say we're going to trade him in 2 weeks, and it's going to be 2 weeks, and it's never going to happen, and then I'm not going to get my contract, and then I'm not falling for that. I think that could be something what's happening.
That makes sense to me, and I share that belief that as the current structure is laid out, where they are up against the cap, that they cannot get it done without gaining some cap space. They do have some other options, but they don't seem willing to explore those either, right? They could extend Jimmy Ward. So far, they've been unwilling to do so. So there are some other choices that they could make. The cleanest one seems to be the Jimmy Garoppolo salary.
MM4 Forever says, let Deebo Samuel sit out and lose money. Why not? Oof. Hey man, I'm telling you, this is how a lot of fans feel.
Yeah.
When you request a trade, you lose them.
Right.
Poggle says, I wonder how the locker room is affected by this. Not positively. It's not great. It's not what you want heading into the season. You know, like, hey, Deebo doesn't want to play for us anymore. Super Bowl. Who's ready for the championship? It's not good. Ominous 24 says Deebo cried in the sideline after losing the NFC Championship game. What will he do on the Jets sideline when they win 5 games a year? Grass green or Deebo? I mean, if he stays healthy, I don't see him being on a team that wins 5 games. He's too good.
This is a scenario, though, where Deebo may want to be careful what he wishes for, because I'm not sure players totally understand when they've been on a functional team. They may not understand what true dysfunction can look like. And I'm not saying that under Robert Saleh, the Jets are still dysfunctional, but certainly prior to Robert Saleh, they were.
No, they're a terrible organization. That being said, the Niners aren't a great organization. Now, Kyle and John have really, done some rehabilitation. They've gentrified the 49ers big time the last 5 years. They have.
Yeah.
But still,
the neighborhood has improved.
Like the foundation is Jed and Prague. And we are seeing what they do. It's like asbestos everywhere, man. It's like, you got to get this out.